So thank you for coming, and it's a very momentous day. I haven't had the opportunity to read the entire 400-page report, but I have read excerpts and continue to read it carefully. Based on what I have read and been briefed on, the special counsel's report, even in its redacted form, paints a picture of a deeply disturbing pattern of conduct by the president and members of his 2016 campaign that warrants congressional action. Special counsel Robert Mueller's expressly declined to take a position whether to indict the president for obstruction of justice because of Department of Justice policy against indicting a sitting president. Mr. Mueller also said he would have cleared the president of obstruction of justice if he could have, but Mr. Mueller said that he could not clear the president of obstruction of justice. And that's because there was voluminous evidence that President Trump may have, in fact, obstructed justice. Quote, and this is from the Mueller report, "If we had confidence after a thorough investigation of the facts that the president clearly did not commit obstruction of justice, we would so state. Based on the facts and the applicable legal standards, we are unable to reach that judgment." This means that any claims by the president and his allies that he is exonerated of obstruction of justice are completely untrue. Mr. Mueller also detailed multiple and repeated instances where the president sought to obstruct the investigation, but quote, "The president's efforts to influence the investigation were mostly unsuccessful, but that is largely because the persons who surrounded the president declined to carry out orders or accede to his requests. Comey did not end the investigation of Flynn, which ultimately resulted in Flynn's prosecution and conviction for lying to the FBI. McGahn did not tell the acting attorney general that the special counsel must be removed, but was instead prepared to resign over the president's order. Lewandowski and Dearborn did not deliver the president's message to Sessions that he should confine the Russia investigation to future election meddling only. And McGahn refused to recede from his recollections about events surrounding the president's direction to have the special counsel removed, despite the president's multiple demands that he do so." Unquote. So Mr. Mueller also noted that much of the president's effort to interfere with the investigation was done so publicly through Twitter and his bully pulpit as president. The president very much appears to have tried to obstruct justice, and we need to hear from President Mueller. The president very much appears to have tried to obstruct justice, and we need to hear from Mr. Mueller about the seriousness of those efforts by President Trump. In preparing this report, Special Counsel Mueller effectively handed this over to Congress. And now Congress should take action. We need to hear from Special Counsel Robert Mueller. He should testify before both the Senate and the House of Representatives. And he should explain his report to the American people, not through the voice of the Attorney General, but his own voice as to how he viewed this investigation and the obstruction of justice issue. It's clearer than ever that Attorney General Barr is not acting as the lawyer for the American people, but is improperly acting as the president's personal attorney. Attorney General Barr's job is to protect rule of law and not just to protect Donald Trump from damaging evidence that Special Counsel Mueller uncovered. The allegations outlined in the Mueller report are alarming. We need to have a full set of congressional hearings on all of these issues so that the American people in detail can hear from witnesses what is in fact in the totality of the Mueller report. They're owed that. The American people have to know what happened in the election of 2016 in terms of the totality of the Russian attempts to interfere with our election. This is an incredibly important moment, and we must also, as we move forward, never lose sight of the larger threat beyond the president's conduct, and that is that Russian interference issue. The special counsel could not have been clearer that the Russians interfered in our 2016 election, something the president continues to deny. And our intelligence officials tell us that the Russians plan to interfere with the 2020 elections. Vladimir Putin and Russian authorities are attacking our free and fair elections, the very fabric of our democracy. And President Trump and the White House have no plan to stop it from happening again. That is unacceptable, and Congress must take action to fully protect our democracy in the absence of President Trump's leadership. This Mueller report is a roadmap for understanding Russian interference in our election. We have to have the public hearings so that if President Trump is not willing to take action, that the Congress must take action to make sure that we do not allow it to happen at the level which it did in the 2016 presidential election cycle. So let me stop there and answer any questions.